What is up, guys? Welcome to the channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the Netflix adaptation of the Witcher series. Now, first and foremost, I must tell you that I have played The Witcher 3. I haven't I haven't played The Witcher 2 or The Witcher 1, and I haven't read any of the Witcher books, but was a pretty huge fan of The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt. Played through it multiple times, have 400 something hours on it, something like that. And I had a worry that the Netflix adaptation would kind of let me down. Now, that's only because some of the other Netflix shows have not been great. They've been a pretty subpar. And I was worried that they would kind of ruin the story and the characters that I grew to love from The Witcher 3. Now, thankfully to say, they didn't do that. I actually really loved the show. I thought it was really good. And they kind of kept it to what the essence of The Witcher 3 was. Now, sorry if I skip around or jump around. This is like my fifth take of making this video. I had some mic issues the first couple of times, and I just jumbled up, got confused, and I just wanted to start over. So, pardon me on that. Now, to go into it, The Witcher TV series is like a prequel to what I know, and so it kind of takes you through the very beginnings of who Geralt is. It kind of takes you the beginning of who Ciri is and kind of introduces those characters. They introduce other characters as well, but the big three ones are Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer. They talk about some other sorceresses and some other politics and stuff like that, but mostly it's about them and kind of their journey and how they're all tied together. And those story arcs are all very interesting to me because I didn't know about them previously. I just knew them from The Witcher 3. And they were already kind of this trio of people that knew each other for a couple of years already. So it was very interesting to see them kind of their introduction and how they interacted with each other early on. And I have to say the first and the last episode of the series were my favorite. They had the most action. They really kind of brought you in, and you're kind of just buckled in for the entirety of the episode, where some of the other episodes themselves were a little slower. They talked a little bit more politics. They were just different, right? Which is a good change of pace. You can't have constant action, and you can't have constant just talking. So I thought that was really good. And they also had multiple arcs within each episode just to keep you always entertained. I had to say these episodes were an hour long, and I was constantly, entertained for them. I was always intrigued by what was going to happen next, and every arc seemed to hold my attention, which is really good. Most shows just don't hold me for very long. That's why I play games. Games are a little more interactive. And so I found myself just really enjoying it, and just enjoying it for what it was, which was just a medieval fantasy action show about a man who hunted monsters. And at its very core, that's what it is. It doesn't try to sugarcoat itself with other things. And I think that Henry Cavill did an amazing job as Geralt. I was worried about that. Didn't know how it would translate. And he really just became this brooding kind of monster hunter who couldn't be bothered, right? And I think he did a really good job. Not only was his acting or his interpretation of Geralt amazing, he also had some great swordsmanship. I am not a pro swordsmanshipper. I don't have any swords. I can barely cut things. So I don't have much experience or expertise in that, but I think he did a really great job. He kind of danced around and with his blade, and I know that kind of sounds kind of weird, but he did it so fluidly, and it looked really nice, especially in the first episode. The first episode really impressed me, and that's probably my favorite scene in the entire series, was in that first episode. And so he did a really great job, just all in all. The other actresses, there are some actresses that I wish were seen more, and I wish they were developed more, but that's just my personal preference. I wish there's some characters that, again, you saw more, but they weren't main characters. They were just kind of there to add some substance. But I think that their casting was pretty good for the most part, except for a couple characters, but this is nitpicky from me on my part. Now, if you don't know anything about the Witcher series, then this information will not bug you. But if you do know the Witcher 3, or the Witcher, any of the Witcher games, you know that there are characters that have already been kind of fleshed out. There are characters that have already been kind of imprinted in people's minds from the games. And Netflix decided to take their own take on certain characters, which is fine. It's just like a personal preference of mine that you kind of keep within what the characters look like in the games or what they were intended to look like in the books. And there's one character in particular that looks nothing like the person in the game or what I assumed the person to be in the book. So that was kind of out of left field, and I was just very confused when I saw that character. And I had no clue who it was until someone said their name. And I was like, holy shit, I would never have guessed that. I would have thought that's completely somebody else that I never knew of. So, if you've never seen the Witcher games or you've never read the books, it probably doesn't matter. But me coming from the game, it was kind of just out of left field. That was just my opinion. Now, another thing that really bugged me while I was watching the series, just a small thing, was that the characters used the word destiny too many times, and I'm not saying, like, oh, they said it 3 times. They said it, like, 30 times throughout the entire series. There was probably a span of a small conversation between 2 characters where they said the word destiny at least 5 times in just a small little snippet. And it just became this word that had no substance to it, and it almost seemed like they were just saying it to say it rather than what the emphasis was, which there's a reason why you say the word destiny, and it's to kind of allude to this higher power, this uncontrollable force that brings people together. And they made it seem like it was nothing. They said the word so many times that it became as regular as somebody saying the word cheese. And so it just lost all of its power, and it almost became annoying. So if you replace the word destiny for cheese, that's how it became for me. It became super annoying. I couldn't stand it at some points. And there are just some places where I had to pause, say the word doesn't mean anything to me anymore, and I had to just continue through it. It became like almost a cringe word to me during that series. Again, very nitpicky. It's very personal to me in terms of just annoying the shit out of me, and it annoyed the shit out of me. So if you don't care that they repeat that word, if you don't really care about anything like that, then this, again, has nothing to do with it. Now, would I recommend it? I would definitely recommend it. It's a good show. It holds true to what The Witcher is. It's a really nice backstory that I didn't know of coming from the last game. And it just kind of gives you a nice extra, I guess, lore of what the series is, or what the show, or not the show, what the Witcher is. The fighting was really good. There's a lot of it. The special effects were also really good. There was multiple scenes that needed really good dust, and it needed really good smoke, that needed really good fire, and I think they did a really good job at that. What else was there? There's just a lot of elements to this fantasy medieval kind of show that I think it all had. So it had the magic, it had the politics, it had just the weird nature of what kind of medieval fantasy is. And I think it did a great job just encompassing that and having Geralt in there and Ciri and Yennefer. And besides that, I think it did a really good job at what it was supposed to be. IMDb gave it an 8.8. I think I would give it an 8 just because of those small little things. But if you don't know The Witcher, you don't really care about them repeating this word, then I think you would really enjoy it. I think anyone would really enjoy it, actually. And it's just a good show to watch right now. Nothing's really out. Game of Thrones ended. There's nothing I can really think of. Stranger Things isn't out right? It's a really good show right now. And watch on Netflix if you have a Netflix account. And yeah, I just really think it's really good. Now, I know I'm drawing on, and I'm really sorry about that. Hopefully I'll be able to edit out all the times I look like a goddamn idiot. But if not, I'm sorry. And I can't edit out the entire video. But anyways, I truly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If there are any like criticisms or other things that you can give me, this is like one of my very first videos on YouTube, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Just a heads up. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this or whatever. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. I'm going to be doing other videos where I talk about games that I liked, games that I didn't like, and kind of seeing why that is, and just showing off kind of why I like these games, and going more in depth with it and how I felt or why I did so well and things like that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a good day, a good night, a good afternoon, and as always, guys, a goodbye. I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.